What's the root of the deadliest assassin inside all of us? The dream killer, aka procrastination. And how to kill it? I'm gonna answer that very question with some tips that help me to combat it. But before that, I want to let you know that I am creating a webcomic or webtoon. And creating means tons of work. And along the way, I finally found the root of my procrastination and killed it. I am now prone to burnout than procrastination, to be honest. And yeah, my comic title is Land of the Gods. It's out now on Webtoon and Tapas, and also Ox Manga. And if you're a sucker for art quality, you can read it on Ox Manga because I'm planning to revamp it. It's gonna take slow because I'm creating the latest episode and then I'm revamping the past episodes. And yeah, the world theme is medieval fantasy. The crown prince is cursed, and the immortal entities wants him dead. The nobles or the ruling class of the world can control elements. There are lots of betrayal, blood, curses. Yeah, if that sounds interesting, you can find the link on the comment section. On TikTok, you can find the link on my Insta, and my Insta is on my profile here on TikTok. Yeah, leave a comment where you come from. Like, I'm from YouTube, I'm from TikTok, I I'm from Instagram. But anyways, yeah, that is all for promotion, and let's go back to the topic of procrastination. What is the root of procrastination? Short answer: weak relationship with yourself. But a bit of disclaimer: this is just my perspective and how I experience it. I've seen lots of videos on YouTube that says that procrastination is from the amygdala brain or the ego attempting control, and it is true for them, but that isn't how I experience it. What do you mean by weak relationship with yourself? So the way I experience it, my consciousness and my ego are two different aspects. So our ego is our character. This would be our created autonomous habits, our way of filtering an experience, etc. And our consciousness is the one that creates the ego or the character. It dictates the ego in a way that it is the one who creates habits, the one who chooses virtues and morals in a healthy ego consciousness relationship, that is. Some people aren't even conscious. They are being directed by quote unquote values of the culture or the people around them. They take what is the most common virtues with them, what is the trend, etc. But this doesn't make them any less valuable as a person. It's just a matter of fact. This isn't to say that this is negative. It depends entirely on the culture a person grows up in. If that culture have good morals, for example, a child growing up in a slum where theft and crimes are the rule, that child, of course, due to his innocence, can easily be influenced by the values of that culture. But once the child becomes conscious, he then have the power to choose over the list of virtues there is, whereas when he was still a child, it was given, no questions asked, and immediate assimilation to his innocent ego. And we can use the term quote unquote awareness here. If a person is aware, he or she have a transformative ego state. And I can say that he or she have a healthy ego overall. That is, this ego state of awareness means being objective of his or her beliefs, have the capacity to choose which virtue or ideas to live by, and direct his or her life, and is flexible in all of these aspects. This isn't to say that we can control our life entirely. Of course, we can't. There are lots of aspects in life in general that we can't control, but an aware person would know the difference between what he can control and what he can't. But overall, consciousness is still a huge mystery. There are some people that says consciousness is the foundation of reality. Quantum physics is still trying to figure out, and we still don't know a lot of things about consciousness. So how does this relate to procrastination? We, our sense of identity, our quote unquote ego, is the one that handles the wheel of our body. And if the ego is unconscious, that is, it doesn't know his or herself, is not actively creating his principles, morals, goals, but is letting anyone or even the societal expectations drives him, this will drive the ego to sleep and will be prone to procrastination, prone to creating impulsive habits. The unconscious drives manifest inside the ego as pain. If the ego restricts or denies the unconscious, some are even hostile or disgusted to their own instinct. I was one of those people. The unconscious longed to be expressed, and the unaware ego, out of ignorance and fear, finds comfort through a very deadly friend named procrastination. In other words, we find ways to distract ourselves from acknowledging the pain inside us, from the unconscious. That being said, how can we stop procrastinating? So, the first step is simply having a relationship with that part of ourselves. And how do we do that? Through the art of introspection. So, you have to ask yourself, quote unquote, why do I procrastinate? Maybe your answer will be because I love the thrill doing it at the last minute, even though I know it's gonna suck. But you can ask yourself again, don't I want it to be good? And why? You get the gist. Just through engaging a conversation with ourselves, we can uncover lots of our unconscious drives. Yeah, if you find your unconscious drive for procrastination is your lack of interest in it, then you should start asking yourself why you took on the task despite your lack of interest in the first place. It is true that there are constraints to our actions, like societal expectations, life circumstances. Despite our instinct revolting against it, we are somehow trapped in the middle of ourselves and the culture. And there's no right or wrong action, whichever voice you listen. Pain and suffering is inevitable, whichever way we choose. But overall, we can choose, and knowing that you have a choice is actually scarier than not knowing. Some people don't even dare to question the values of their culture because it is scary to say the least. And the next step is knowing your hierarchy of needs and wants, or in practical terms, listing priorities. Just list the most important things in your life, your goals, your relationships, or if you don't know it yet, just try answering this question: what do you want my life to be? This would include your work, your relationship, and most importantly, respect yourself. What do you mean by that? Developing a relationship with anyone, including ourselves, takes a lot of time and effort. Maybe we can start with accepting that we are stuck with ourselves and no one's gonna help us but us alone. Of course, there are external help, but it's important to learn to help ourselves. When you have a plan, you must stick with it until failure. You must show up for yourself because no one will. There's an idea of conditioning about rewarding an action. So, as an example, I'm gonna do my project for 5 minutes or whatever base time limit you're comfortable with. After that, I'm gonna watch anime for 5 minutes or whatever time you choose. And you get the idea, right? Reward yourself after doing something that you said you would do. And then eventually you'll reach a point where you didn't even have to reward yourself because the task in itself becomes rewarding. And so listing our priorities and goals in life to redirect our every moment's action and then start living at the present. If our aim is too high, don't look at the top of the mountain, but look at the every step you take. If you find yourself procrastinating, ask yourself again why you're doing that and remind yourself again your highest goals. Something that all of your instincts is ready to die for. Yeah, it's gonna get intense if your unconscious drives manifest itself as too much pain. It sometimes can mean that it also wants intense stimulation to get it going, i.e., higher goals. It varies to us individually, but having an awareness of our goals, of our drives, help us be more peaceful with ourselves and world in general. Think of it as akin to friendship, helping ourselves to be the best version of ourselves. And of course, a very important rule to remember, don't be too hostile with yourself or your instinct, because sometimes the unconscious presents itself masking into something else because our ego is so hostile towards that part of ourselves. So it comes in a different shape, begging to be manifest and assimilated into ego consciousness. That happened to me, so take my word for it. And just don't be hostile to your drives. Just look at them objectively, as matter of factly. And yeah, it's not a one-time thing that once you identified the root of something, you can pull it over and it's over. No, it's a slow process. Like I said, it is a relationship. So we will take our time. Because after all, time is relative. Yeah, that is all for me. I hope you get something out of this video. And if you like this kind of content, you can subscribe and turn on notification bell because I post videos like this every weekend, the same time I upload my webcomic. And you can support the channel by simply liking, subscribing, commenting, and any kinds of donation is greatly appreciated. All my social link is on the comment section. And also, don't forget to check my webcomic out. And most importantly, smile more. We're all gonna die and end up in the same box anyway, so just smile and wave. Smile and wave. See you when I see you.